Okay, so it looks like the stream is live. Let me make sure I did not check this before. Yep, okay. And those are backwards. Okay, so let's fix that really quickly. Options, controls. Okay, then keys and buttons. Make sure the engine brake toggle. Nope, not that guy. Engine brake is this guy. Okay, so let's make sure that does what we want now. Nope, that's not doing what I want. It was, I don't know how it was right the other way. I was wrong before and now it's wrong. Okay. Okay, we'll try that again. On before I go out, actually. I have a 13 speed. 450 horses. So let's go back to controls and set it to a 13 speed. Anyway, anybody who's on, welcome to my stream, Essence stream. I am just getting set up here. I'm gonna grab over here real quick. I've got a triple screen set up here. So in order to accommodate that, I'm kind of, okay, there we go. Okay, so I've got I'm recording the center screen, and then I'm using camera mounted on my head here to show the other screens. That way people can see when I look. Hopefully it doesn't make you all too dizzy. My monitor here is just a little bit off. I had them done better than this, I thought, but it seems to be off just a little bit. Anyway, I do have right here, I've got a Tech Affliction Mega Shifter with the Easy Jake. So this is my range selector and my gear splitter and my Jake. I like the Jake overall, but I've got some mixed feelings, and maybe I'll go over that during the stream. This DualShock controller here, I do things like parking brake, dropping the trailer, adjusting the retarder, things like that over there. And then I've also got behind my Yeti here, I've got a G920 that is has a bunch of other stuff mapped to it. Anyway, I need to, I'm doing an economy mod, which it did say in the description, but if you don't know, I'm doing an economy mod, which means that it's going to be a while before I get to buy a truck. So every time I get a new truck, I have to readjust. So on the triple screen here, I try to adjust it so that I can see all the sides, which I'm not too worried about. But top and bottom here, I do want to be able to read my gauges. So I don't want to have my head tilted too far, but I also don't want to be sitting too low. And I also want to be able to see my GPS on the corner of my screen here. So that's kind of my criteria for how I set up the screen. I have oftentimes set it up wrong, where when I first get to a street light, I can't see it. So we'll have to see if I end up adjusting it again at that point. And so anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Anyway, so hopefully that I can get going here. And that's kind of my criteria, I guess, for how I adjust that. My mirrors actually look pretty decent. Sometimes I have to adjust them, but they look okay. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I have 21 tons of tires that I am taking from I'm taking to Tucumcari Sunshine Crops. I'm currently in, if we look at the map, I am currently in Carlsbad, just picking up from Tidbit. So I will be driving up through Artesia, Roswell, and then heading up to Tucumcari. So one of the things I struggled with last night as I did this is I was losing more money in accidents than I was making in doing the job. So hopefully I can avoid that a little bit more today, overcome that. And we'll have to see how that goes. I ended up getting a couple collisions and I think running a red light or something, and so I now have less money than when I started the other night. Also, after my stream the other day, I did start just a little bit, or I played a couple more deliveries after that, just on my own, but I'm starting back in Carlsbad. Since it's a quick job, I can really start where I want anyway, but trying to kind of keep it linear. So I'm starting in, I've got a 13 speed, so I'm starting in first gear right now. I can't split the lower gears, so it's just first, not one low or anything. And this is kind of a tight little spot, and I'm gonna have to adjust my pedals here. They're feeling a bit close to me tonight. Maybe if I just, okay, I think that's okay. Let's see if we can. Okay. Anyway, this is kind of a tight location. So, but I did do one takeoff from here the other day, after the stream, so I kind of know what's up here. We'll see how badly I mess it up after I say that, but oh, I was playing a different physics mod last time when I was playing, and one of the things that physics mod did is it actually made the RPMs drop more slowly, so that's kind of what I was used to. Oh, that was a lot farther than I thought it was going to drop. So I'm going to have to adjust my shifting speed a little bit accordingly. I'm now playing with Momo's Physics Mod 1, which is basically, I think it's the Physics Mod 5 ported over to ATS. So anyway, I've liked the Momo physics mods in the past, so hopefully it does me well going forward. Sadly, I cannot really see up that way very well, and turning isn't going to help me much. Okay. A little bit soon there, okay. Got a red light. Let's see if we can slow down and have it turn before we get there. It totally worked. Kind of over revving here. I'm gonna have to get into it, but I shouldn't. I'm trying not to go past 1500 RPM as a general rule. I'm not gonna. Okay, we'll just. No, I don't want it at this point. Okay. Anyway, so it's Momo's physics mod. Nothing yet on the chat. Because I'm playing with 3 screens, I only have 3 screens, so I can't watch the chat while everything else is going on. So I'm kind of limited on that front. So I'll try and alt-tab over to the chat when I'm in between, when I'm at stopped areas. When I'm in stopped areas. The reason there being that when I alt-tab out, then the mega shifter here kind of gets disconnected from, and I think I totally killed it. The mega shifter gets disconnected from the game, so if I'm like in high range or split up or something, then it loses all of those. So I don't want to do it mid-game all the time. Otherwise I have to switch it back to low range and then up to high range, and then go from there. We'll go to high range now. And looks like we're on our way. So I am loving the amount of detail that they've put into everything here on the The expansion, I mean, the amount of detail is just phenomenal. Sorry about that. That was a lot of grinding. Let's get stopped here. Check the chat. Nothing there. Okay. Anyway, the level of detail on these towns and stuff in New Mexico is just blowing. It's mind-blowing. And I've heard people say that before, but I'm agreeing on that front. So I watched a video on progressive shifting. The idea on progressive shifting is, and that's if I understood it right, is that, you know, for the first gear you go up to about 1,000 RPM, and then for second gear you go to like 1,100 RPM, and then third gear you go to 1,200, and fourth gear you go to 1,300. The idea being that you can, I think the idea is that you don't really need the extra torque of the higher RPMs in the lower gears, and so you're just really burning extra fuel doing it. Sorry, I stopped talking because I ran into that truck. How close am I, in fact? Oh, yep, I was pretty close there. But it's really hard to do on the game because it's really easy to just bypass that RPM. I usually rev just a little higher when I change my ranges, because it takes me a little longer to make that shift. But still, let's go ahead and get to where I can see my cruise control. There we go. Up to 70 now. That was a lot higher than I wanted to rev. In fact, I could have just left it in high at that point. Anyway, the idea with these big trucks is you don't want to go beyond about 1,500 RPM because you're really out of your power band at that point anyway. So keep it between about 1,000 and 1,500 is when they're designed to make power. Anyway, I mentioned that I'm not quite so sure what I think of my Jake switch here. And it's not that I don't like my Jake switch, and I don't want people to think that that's what I'm saying. I actually really like the way it is and stuff, but I have one issue with it, and that's, so I'm used to, here on my steering wheel, the right shoulder button equivalent, setting it to the Jake brake toggle, or the engine brake toggle. And what that does is then, as I drive along, things are fine. I'll usually toggle it on while my cruise is still on. And then when I get to my exit, then I kick off the cruise, and then the Jake brake kicks in and starts slowing me down. But what's happening with this is if I toggle it on like this, it kicks off the cruise, which, okay, now maybe it's just a matter of me changing the way I do things. Maybe that's a good thing. But it's just not what I'm used to, I think, more than anything, so it's taking some time to get used to the new way. So anyway, yeah, not necessarily a bad thing, just something that's a change to the way I do things. Now, if anybody is a trucker and wants to weigh in on the realism of the two options, the way I used to do it versus the way I do it now, you know, I'd be more than happy to hear a real trucker's take. Okay, check the chat real quick. Nothing there. How am I looking on the line here? I'm way back here. Okay, so I can scoot up. One of the things I'm noticing is that sitting this low in the truck, in order to see, I almost wonder if it'd be better, but then I'd see less of the, I would say, I can't see down the hood very far. So I am trying to keep it below 1,500, but I'm not getting the progressive shifting down yet, at least on the game. Anyway, so the Jake brake, like I said, I think it works probably the way it's supposed to, frankly. And it's probably just me that doesn't understand the way it works in real life. 35, huh? But it's taking an adjustment for me to change the way I do things. So, anyway, ooh. Okay. So, anyway, I love the Mega Shifter. I haven't tried an SKRS, but I've heard that it's a better build quality. Shout out to Paul at Tech Affliction. It is an awesome shifter. I got it 2 days ago now. Love it to death. I it's one of those problems that is always there. I may have to go and upgrade my rig now here. Because, oh, there we go, okay. Sorry, I tried to do progressive shifting there. I may have to upgrade my rig because now the shifter's a bit higher than I'd like, and so I almost need to figure out a way to rig it farther down. No place on my desk to do it right now, but I'm sure that maybe something could be managed there. Put it a little closer and a little farther down. And one of the things I'm noticing is still the case, and that's not anything to do with the Mega Shifter, is that I have to, I don't like the RPMs to blip up a lot as I'm trying to go from like 7 high to 8 low, or I get, 7 high to 8 low, which I'm going to do right now. So one of the things I do to help it not do that is I pre-select, and then I move into neutral before I let my foot off the throttle, which is not actually what you would do in a real truck. Because in a real truck, you would then put pressure against it and let off the throttle, and as you let off the throttle, the bind against the gear stick would come off, and then it would move. But it keeps me from doing that blip, which makes it take longer to shift the gear. And so I've been pre-selecting, moving it to neutral when I remember, and then pulling it out of the gear. So I'm in 8 high right now. This hill seems to be a bit much for 8 high, so I'm going to go ahead and let's drop it to 8 low here. Again, pre-select, let off the throttle, it does its work, and then that having been said, I might as well start slowing down because I'm coming back into town now, into Roswell. Ooh, here's my first view of Roswell. Fun. Oh. Okay, I'm giving myself plenty of room because I'm still... I got in accidents last night, and with this economy mod, they kill me. Oh, they kill me so fast. Because I don't make much money on a job, and so it doesn't take very much of a loss before I'm not making money anymore. Okay, didn't make it. Okay, so I'm trying to keep myself enough room that I don't get in accidents. Ooh, I really ought to be... Do I think that I could get over there right now? There's this question mark right here, but I doubt that I could get over there. As much as I'd like to try, with the traffic I'm seeing right now, I do not, that's not what I wanted. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get there. So I'm just going to have to not do it on this one. iFlop restaurant, UFO gallery. Jinx electronics store. We're going to try some progressive shifting here. That worked okay. Oh, yellow light. Oh, I almost didn't see that yellow light in turn. Okay. So, Inn of the Aztec Ancients, huh? And something there that I can't quite read. Payday advance. See, and there's where I had this adjusted better. If you look at the left screen, it's pretty much on. I'm actually going to pause it for just a second. That's a little bit better. One of the problems I face is this machine is also my workstation, so during the day I work at it and I push the screens back, and then when I'm playing I pull them back forward so the screens don't stay in exactly the same spot. You know what, I want to look at something really quickly. So they don't stay in exactly the same spot, and so that's kind of an issue I face is, well, if they change, then it's not going to be exactly the same, and do I readjust every time? So I'm going to try and maybe watch the chat on my phone here. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll see. Because I hate to leave people out if they actually decide to chat something. So, anyway. That's kind of the problem I face here, and that's why they get off. I at one point I had them adjusted really, really well, where it was seamless. But now come on. Oh, I'm still in the high range. Dang, I forgot to switch it back to low range. Anyway, so then I had it perfect. It looked great and whatnot, and now I'm having to fight to get it back to that again every time I play, because I don't have a standard setup. Sorry, I'm gonna do this real quick. If I'm gonna try and watch the chat on my phone, I'm gonna change my battery settings. Display, advanced. We'll go to like 30 minutes, and it's less likely to turn off. Okay, so anyway, that'll if I had a standard setup that I was at, then I could, just leave it that way when it was adjusted correctly, and then I wouldn't have to anymore. But in Euro Truck Simulator, I have the console turned on. I don't currently in here, so I was trying to adjust it before this stream, but then I was going to have to go turn on the console, which I didn't really want to do. And so anyway, it just seemed like more work than I wanted to do right before I hopped on. Maybe I'll do it before the next stream, see if I can get it adjusted back up, and maybe I can find a way to mark a standard spot and say, this is where my screens sit. Oh, it was pretty good actually. This is where my screens sit. That way my config isn't changing a lot. Anyway, we'll have to see. I'm still messing with exactly how I can do this best, both for me and for anybody who decides to watch. That's kind of where I am, still in the trying things out stage. So we are hitting like every light going through here. Ah, come on. Ah, that was bad. About to leave Roswell, New Mexico here. How big is this Roswell area? Let me see. Okay, yeah, we're coming to the end here. Okay. So, almost feel like I need to look up just a tad so I can catch that light up top, but I barely can. At the top of my screen here, I've got a UI mod. I can't remember the name of it now. But it puts the stuff that would normally be in the little route advisor, puts some of the information up there, like how long I have until I'm supposed to be making the delivery. I wish I actually had somewhere that had the estimated time till arrival. Oh, actually, no. I think what I have up there is my ETA. Yeah, because, okay, so that's the ETA. What I wish it had was how long it's going to take me to get there, or how long I have and how long it's going to take me. That way I have a comparison and I know, oh, I'm getting tired. Do I have time to sleep? Do I not have time to sleep? How can I best make use of my time? Let's see if I can modulate my speed here and not have to stop. It does not look like I'm going to. Oh, I did. I totally did. Go back up to high range. A little early there. Okay, I'm going to start splitting my gears now. 6 low to 6 high. And then 6 high to 7 low. Now I did what I said before. Pre-select, move into neutral, then let off my foot so that it doesn't do the blip. Anyway, looks like we're going to get it back out on the open road now. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, the environments they've created here are really quite phenomenal. I totally flipped the wrong one. I totally flipped my range selector instead of my gear splitter. Anyway, so out on the open road here, man, they do have cool stuff going on. We'll go ahead and set my cruise here. And I like to set it for 4 over when I can, because then the cops don't pull me over, but I get a little bit of extra speed in. So there's that. 59. I'm doing well. Again, this is a quick one, so I don't. Prime air. Why is it saying I'm out of air? I assume that gauge doesn't work in this truck. What truck am I even in? Kenworth. Okay, so why is my air W900? Huh. My guess is that this air gauge right here just doesn't work, because at this point I should have lots of air. Do I not have? I thought I had that turned on. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have air simulation turned on. Let's see, gameplay. Let's see. Fatigue, traffic, rain. Air brake simulation is turned on. I'll admit I don't feel like the air brakes pretty much ever have to power up, but in theory it's on. Let's go ahead and merge over. Okay, so far I'm loving the Momo physics mod. It's actually working really quite well. Okay, I can merge over at this point. I don't think I cut them off too badly. Nope, they didn't slam on their brakes, so I should be good. Okay. Got 2 hours and 40 minutes left till I reach my end there. Anyway, I've said it again, and I've said it before and I said it again, I love the Mega Shifter. Paul, if you ever hear this from me, you did an amazing job with this. I love the Tech Affliction logos, the 3D printed logo stuff. The shifter itself, it just feels solid. It's massive. It's solid. The switches have nice, strong. You know you clicked them. Okay, let's get back up. So I'm liking it a lot. It adds a lot to my experience as a driver. Some people I know might shake their heads at me, but it adds to my experience. It makes it a better experience. I've said many times I see a lot of people in it. It kind of blows my mind a bit, but I also realize that I'm in a different financial position than many people are. And my mic just barely went ski-wampus. So we're going to have to see if we can fix this really quickly. Do not bump the mic, apparently. Sorry if a lot of this is transferring through. We are going to fix this mic. What I was saying is, it blows my mind at how much people are complaining, I think we're good to go again, about the cost of the DLCs. New Mexico, for example, $12, all $12. And when, for me at least, the game is almost the free puppy. The cost of the game compared to the cost of everything else is so small and insignificant that, see, there we go, that I actually have a hard time even caring about the cost of the $12. And again, I'm in a different situation than some are, so I understand that. But I'd have to look, but I've got hundreds of hours between ETS2 and ATS. I've got hundreds of hours on the games. I just, gotta go to the way station, huh? Oh, actually the way station's on the left. Okay. I mean, I just spent $185 on an accessory to make the gameplay more fun. I mean, like, this is... and so the $12 that is buying the buying the expansion per se. I mean, and that's, I know I'm old school, but that's kind of how I think of it. DLC is a term I'm getting used to. Oh, did I totally overshoot? Was I supposed to stop at the line? I totally overshot. That's what I get for talking while I drive, huh? Anyway, the $12 that I'm paying for the expansion compared to the $300 I spent on, I spent $300 on the game itself. Come on. What am I not? Okay, maybe I have to pull up a little bit more now. Where am I supposed to be here? Anyway, I've spent a lot of money on everything else that goes along with it, and so the actual cost, of the game just doesn't seem like all that. Oh, it's saying I didn't have to. I read that totally backwards. Okay, well, this was my practice. The cost of the game, the cost of the DLC. Now, admittedly, I did buy the American Truck Simulator. I bought it on the Steam sale, so there was $10 there instead of the normal price. Actually, American Truck I got on a Humble Bundle deal back before the acquisition, so I paid $10 for American Truck Simulator and a slew of other more minor games, some of which my kids quite enjoy, some of which I've actually attempted and aren't that bad. So, if you say, well, $10 for the game plus some others for free, or if you look at it as, I actually only paid $8 for the game and got some others for free, now I get to try and cross here, huh? This is going to be hard. And we just had them get in an accident right there. I just had the bus, or almost had a bus hit a semi. I'm not sure if it actually did or not. I might just have to kind of start. Okay. We're going for it. That was not my turn to go, but anyway, I can go to low here. So the $12 for the DLC compared to everything else just isn't that much. Now, I also realize that there's kind of, some bigger stuff going on right now. We've got the whole EA debacle, and the way that they handled continuing to charge people for playing their game, which, and is built into the price of the game, and how much they hope to make on it. And I think that has and will continue to backfire on them. But I don't feel like SCS is doing that. I mean, it's a $20 game. They initially, they didn't have Arizona, but they included that for free if you bought the initial game. And then they've spent, I would guess, hundreds of man hours developing an expansion to it, a DLC for New Mexico here. And they deserve something for that money they put into it. That's not free. There's lots and lots of man hours that went into that, person hours. There's money that should be paid for that. And the same thing goes for, the next one, whether it's, looks like it's going to be Oregon at this point, but they deserve money for that as well. There's lots of time that goes into it. You can't buy a $20 game and then expect them to continue to expand it forever without any monetary compensation. That's bad business practice. It's not going to be a sustainable model. So $12 for New Mexico, which is an awesome, large change, plus other updates to the game, the 1.29 update that brought in, random events and whatever else. Looks like it is time to start slowing down. There's a lot of stuff that we do get for free, and part of the reason we can get that for free is because the bill is being paid by the other DLCs. Oh, come on. By the DLCs, and so they're able to upgrade the client, the game, for free. But it's not free. Somebody has to pay for it. and I don't think that they're asking too much. Anybody who does, I think, doesn't understand, and I don't understand, I don't fully understand the amount of work and money and time that goes into developing something like this. And maybe you're just going to call me an apologist or something, because I'm defending them. Sorry, I totally cut them off. But they deserve something for their time. And if we don't pay them, if they don't get paid for their time, then no matter how much they love doing it, the way our economy works, they won't get to continue to do it if they don't get paid for it. That's just the truth of the matter. You can't do something for free, at least for too long. You have to get money somewhere, unless you just happen to be in that percentage of people that can do things for free and it doesn't affect you. You've got to make money, otherwise you can't keep doing it. Looks like I probably ought to get in the left lane. Speaking of which, so I've got the Mega Shifter here, which is made by Tech Affliction. I'm loving it. Ooh, had a major glitch there. But he's also working on another product, which is I'm going to find and definitely at some point purchase. Whether I'll have the money to do it, on day one or not is another story. But he's working on, and we're about too tight on that corner for my speed. Anyway, he's working on, and I've got to get, come on. He's working on a turn signal indicator, which looks really cool. He's using, he said it's out of a Chevy pickup, a Z71, I think he said, or the 2007 Chevy pickup, if you know those. But it's got a cruise control, turn signal. I think it has lights and everything built into the turn turn signal. So you'll have all those controls. So all these things that we end up having mapped to buttons of our choice will then be able to be mapped to something that is more commonly used in a vehicle. Now, obviously, it's not what's used in a semi-truck, in a tractor-trailer rig, but it is used in an actual vehicle and designed to be used, by feel, not by look. So at least there's that. I'm going to totally cut you off here. And so I think that'll be a big improvement. Like the Mega Shifter here, it's going to be an Arduino connection that is programmed to handle all the inputs and transmit them as inputs into the game. So that's really quite exciting. I think that'll be an awesome addition to my gaming rig once I get it. And I'm not currently saving up for it, although it sounds like maybe it's going to be here sooner than I think it is. But it would be something that I would really enjoy having to add to my own realism. Let's go ahead and drop a gear here, and then we can go back up a gear. Now there's a rule of thumb that you should go, I gotta check my map here for a second. This is my exit. Okay, so we are gonna go back down. That you should go down the hill one gear lower than you went up the hill. And then that's taking into account the Jake brake. Now in this game I've never really done that, because climbing the hill I'm always trying to get my speed, and the down the hills are never that bad, and maybe never is a long time, but generally the downhills just aren't that bad. So I'm not too worried about it most of the time, but it is something that I keep in mind and I'm trying to think about. And obviously it's a rule of thumb, not a perfect rule. So I'm sure that truckers don't always follow it in all situations. I did find some pretty good trucking videos on YouTube, kind of watching it, and I'm actually wondering if the whole simulator, Euro Truck, American Truck Simulator, has caused a surge in interest in how to truck and how truckers actually drive, because there are actually, over the last few years, have been a significant number of trucking videos talking about, you know, how to shift a 13 speed, how to shift an 18 speed, how to control speed, all kinds of stuff. Life of a trucker type deal. Whoa, that was way over revved. And so I think that they're actually probably in response a little bit to the simulator community, where we're, you know, jumping in and trying to figure out how to truck like a real trucker type deal. And I watched one where there was a guy who went over Donner Pass, which, you know, I've done in game once, probably, maybe twice. I don't know, maybe more times than that. But talking about, you know, the process of choosing what gear you want and all of that. Oop, I kind of overran the curb there a little bit. And also kind of overran the line, huh? Oh, I'm actually like right at the line. I knew that. I'm gonna say I've got the chat up on my phone, but I just wanted to make sure that my phone is actually up. Anyway, so it's kind of interesting to watch those videos and try and look at how people actually drive. So this is where I kept getting red lights before, because it's right up here at the top of my screen. And I was watching this light, not this light. I didn't even know that light existed because it was down just far enough that I couldn't see it. And I think I was only seeing the light to the side there. And so I'd see the light turn green and I'd start to make my left turn, and then it'd say, hey, you know, you just had a red light violation. And it's like, no, I didn't. But it was because there was a turn light that I didn't see, and I totally didn't use my turn signal. Anyway, so there's I have a personal interest. I'm a simulator junkie. I think I've decided at this point. One of my big games that I played before I got into these, was actually Silent Hunter, which, if you don't know it, is a submarine simulator, World War II submarine simulator. Lots of fun. I have spent many hours on that as well. And like these games, it has a very good modding community, which otherwise it would be an old and outdated game. But they have added a lot to it, make a huge difference. And so I think I'm a bit of a simulator junkie. And as such, I'm trying to do it. You know, I realize that it's not 100% realistic, although I think last time I talked about the fact that I wish that they had it programmed with more flywheel mass, because in a real truck, oh, come on, in a real truck, you don't give it gas until after you're moving. You can't do that in this game. If you try and take off without giving it any gas, then you're just going to stall your truck. In real life, you don't give it gas and fuel, acceleration, throttle. It's not gas. You don't give it any throttle until you're already moving, because otherwise you're going to burn up your clutch. A little bit not high enough. You're going to burn up your clutch, and then and cause pretty good damage to your truck. And so you everything I watched, I mean, even with a massive load, even with, you know, pulling 80,000 pounds or whatever, you don't give it any throttle until that clutch is out and you're already rolling. At that point, you roll on the throttle, which is, as everybody who's played this knows, not how you play in this game. And this is my spot. I thought, I don't want to. Okay, those sneak up on me all the time. Okay, I am not going to make that turn. So let's back up just a tad. And hopefully I'm going to make it in this gate too, because I did not plan that very well. Okay. Let's see where they want it. Now, as I go into this, I am in no way the epitome of what you should do backing. If you want to see good backing, go watch Squirrel or Jeff Fabiano or someone like that, because I'm going to be lucky if I get it in the spot. So now that I've given people not enough space to get out. I thought I had. Okay, let's get it out of here. And I can't see there. Okay. So currently I'm trying to get better at backing. So one of the things I'm doing is oftentimes, I mean, rather than just giving up, I'll practice in third person view. That way at least I get some practice at it. Mainly thanks to the advice of Squirrel. His how to back a trailer videos are phenomenal. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let these cars go by a bit, and we're gonna pull it forward. And then we're gonna try and swing it in here. Mr. Semi, you're just gonna have to wait, and they're gonna wait for me. So hopefully I make it here, because they've already been waiting for a little while. And I barely made that. Okay, now. Let's go ahead and turn on our hazards. Now, again, I've been watching videos and stuff, trying to figure out what the correct ways are to back and stuff. And it looks like for here, just let's make sure I'm. Yeah, this shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and swing it to the left here. Swing a little more that way because I think I started swinging too early. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna straighten this out, and then let's start going back. And I stalled it again. If the physics were right, I wouldn't be stalling it, but because I'd be able to just take my foot off the throttle and it would roll right into it, which is not the case here. I'm hoping, I mean, things are looking good at this point. I'm hoping I can do this like first try on this one, but I am not making any promises. Let's go ahead and okay, I think I'm going pretty straight back now. Oh, no, I'm a little bit overcorrected that way. Let's go ahead and bring it over there. Things are looking pretty good, actually. No. Wrong way. I'm messing it up right at the end here. I'm gonna pull it up just a bit. Get it straightened out here. Okay. Come on. Come on, give me my green. And there we go. Let's go ahead and set the brake. See how it looks. You know what? I'm happy with that. Not necessarily a really hard one, but there you go. Let's go ahead and drop our landing gear here. And see what we did. I made a level 2. I didn't even see how much money I made that time, but I made money, so that's good. Okay, so I've got high value cargo, and I'm actually going to add on, let's do a fragile. Okay, now we are here in, oh, see, that's where we are in Tucumcari. So let's find out what jobs there are in Tucumcari. New Holland to Roswell. That'd be a short trip. It gets paid well per mile. A relatively short trip. I mean, shorter than what I just did. Sorry, I'm checking my stream health and stuff. Things look good, actually. Only missed a couple of frames, 90 frames at this point. I think we're probably good to go. Okay. So there's that. We could do CR 10.9, whatever that is. Now that one looks like a high value. You know what? We're going to do that. Let's go ahead and take that job. Looks like we're going to be driving a Kenworth. T680, huh? Oh, there's where the stats are. You know, it doesn't show that on Euro Truck, I don't think. Okay. See, now that guy has more power, more gears, and a third the weight. That just doesn't sound like it's that challenging to drive. Now I could do the machine parts, but I'd be paid $15 less for the same job. So let's go with the heavier trailer. I can be fun to drive those flat nose there, but okay. So I'm trying actually a significant number of new mods right now. I added in some more Jazzy Cat mods. I also, while I get things adjusted, there's the Momo physics mod that I'm running, and I added in some more trucks. And then what other mods have I done? Oh. You know, I wonder if it would actually be better to sit farther up. No, because then by the time I can see my gauges, they're so far down. You know, I'll pull up to my first light and see how it looks. I can always look up at lights, I guess. But that might allow me to see out of my sight a little better. Because as I scoot back, my peripheral vision gets significantly worse, huh? Well, we're going to try this on this guy. Okay, so it looks like I am hauling. Oh, that guy, huh? Cool. That's a pretty nifty machine. And this is where there's where I just dropped my trailer and it's already gone. That's probably because I went to sleep for like 10 hours since I'm wide awake again. Okay. Okay, so this air gauge says I'm down. I don't know if that means it's connected to anything. It doesn't seem to be climbing at all. Might just be that this truck doesn't have that programmed in. Okay, I don't have any beeping going on, so I have a 13 speed this time, right? Better check that. Pretty sure it said I had a 13 speed. And, yep, and 450 horsepower. So, I've already got it set up for 13 speed because that's what I had last time. Let's go ahead and really quickly, I want to do a tug test. Trailer brake, oop, not reverse, forward. Oh, you know what? I don't have that mapped. Let's get that guy mapped real quick. Options, controls, or keys actually, trailer brake, you. Okay. Yep. Okay, we are connected. Let's get on the road here. And turn my hazards on while I'm in the yard here. And let's see. We are going to be going out over here. Oh, that was a pretty major overhead. Okay, I will be hanging a left out here. I can probably turn my hazards off at this point. And let's see what we got. Okay, well I think that's probably as good as I'm gonna get here. Ah, man, I'm missing that gear every time. Okay, look forward again. Okay, new range. 5 low. 6 low. Okay. So there we go. $15. Okay, I'll be hanging a left up here. Oh man, I am over revving like crazy. I need to pay attention to my RPMs here. So what I was seeing when I was doing my research is that you can rev higher when using engine braking than, you know, like 1500 should be your upshifts, but it's okay when downshifting to go up into like the 1800 range and stuff, because you're not using the power of the engine, you're using the braking of the engine, which is, I mean, this is all just, you know, me doing research on the internet. I am not a truck driver, so I could be all wrong on this. But most of the specs I've seen for the Jake brakes are saying things like up to 2300 RPM, up to 2200 RPM, that kind of thing, which makes, and I'm revving like crazy, which makes me think that it's okay. You know, it's okay to use the braking ability at a higher RPM than it is the accelerating. And, ooh, that was close. And I would actually guess from, see, I've got that brake error light is still on. I think that this truck, I think this must be one of the modded trucks and they just don't have that done on the mod yet. Anyway, but the thing to see is that, you know, when all of the engine brake specs that I've read are at like, you know, 230 RPM or 2300 RPM. And so that makes me think that if they're rated there, that's the idea, is that you shift up and then engine brake back down. Again, if anybody actually, you know, does this for a living or something and knows otherwise, I'd be happy to be corrected on that. But from what I've seen, that's what I've gathered. And that was too sharp. I hit my throttle too soon on that one. I almost upshifted, but I was pretty sure I was going to lose the momentum anyway. Let's let him pass. Come on. Okay, it's out on the open road. On the open road. Sorry, I'm going to pause for just a second. Still trying to figure out how... Huh. You know what? I just realized I think I am misleading people on my stream here. I think it says that I'm playing... let's see. Stream... Advanced options... or basic info. There we go. I am telling people that I'm streaming something I'm not. Okay, so I don't want to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to have people who pop in wanting to watch Euro Truck Simulator and they're getting American Truck Simulator. So, anyway. Not sure if I have to click like save or anything, or if that's just it. It looks like that's probably it. Okay. So sorry, that I've totally been lying to anybody that decided to come in. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like for braking you can go up, you know, 2300 RPM, maybe even to redline, I don't know. You know, to do the braking instead of maintaining that 1500 RPM. So, since doing that, that's what I have been doing. So anybody who happens to be a professional truck driver and looks at this and says, "Oh, that just hurts my ears," I would love to be corrected on that front, if you'll let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing what I think I have read I should be doing. So let's go ahead and start our cruise at this point. I don't know as I'm ever going to get up to 75, but we'll see. We're only going as far as Roswell, so we are hauling 20 tons with 450 horses, so it's probably going to take a while to get there anyway. I'm actually surprised how well I got up to speed so far. And I may actually cut it down to 70. Let's not push our luck here. And I'm still going to end up passing people even at 70. I feel like these people need to drive a little faster. There was one mod I saw which I didn't add. Oh, I totally forgot. That talked about it being a traffic mod, but not one that really... Oh, this is... adds a lot of traffic, just one that attempts to make the traffic more realistic. Man, that was a quick exit. Sorry, that was going for the realism here. That did not do it. I made it. This engine brake's working well, though. So, okay. Down to first. I'll go ahead and take off the engine brake because I don't need it at this point. UPS delivery. Oh, I'm totally over revving. I gotta get out of here. Okay. And I guess I'm in Roswell now? I'm actually not sure where I am. No, I'm not. I'm totally not even near Roswell yet. Okay. That's good. I thought it shouldn't be quite that far yet. Dukumkari, next left. Okay. You know what? I'm actually going to go back. Because I want to use it to control my speed of the light that I'm bound to run. Okay, so I'm going to be turning left up here. So let's go ahead and get over. Okay, I'm going to have to stop. Maybe after that SUV back there? I don't know. Hopefully this isn't one of those where I just kind of have to go. You know, I wonder if I can pull up a little bit and let that semi back there go. Okay, I guess I'm going now. On that. Okay. Come on. I should have split that last gear. Oh well. I'll start splitting now. I like the buzzards flying around, although it makes me wonder what's dead over there. But there we go. I thought I was in gear and I wasn't. Okay. We got a little church or something over here, huh? A mission, probably, huh? Cool. Cool. Of course I'm Gonna overtake these trucks up here. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can pass him. Oh, nope, this is the no passing lane section. Missed my chance. Oh. Oh, come on. Totally missed a gear there. Totally missed that gear. $1,382. Assuming I don't get in any wrecks, I should be in like almost the $1,500 range, which ironically is where I started before I started getting in all my wrecks and running the red lights last time. So I'm almost back to ground zero. I think on this economy mod, I'm not allowed to get significant loans until like about level 8. So basically, I'm going to be doing quick jobs for a while there. I'm in level 2 currently. I can bypass. Oh, see, this is the mistake I made last time. I was like, oh, I have to go to the way station. And what it was actually saying is that I don't have to go to the way station. I totally nailed most of those. There were a couple I got wrong. Let's go ahead and kick off the easy Jake. Oh, turn signal. Of course, now I have to turn left on this, which I've seen to be rather difficult. Nope, not after them. Maybe after that truck? Okay. Let's do this. Ah, I totally overread that. I'm just gonna... Come on. Okay. So I was listening to some interesting podcasts earlier today, and lots of good stuff talked about. One of them that they were talking about is the effect that it has. So it was called the me news, I guess, where this idea that we self-select basically most of the news that we self-select most of the people that we get comments from, our friends on Facebook or whatever are the ones that we see, and they're the ones that we see input from. And the guy who was talking, and I wish I remembered who it was, but he was a scientist, and they did a study out in Colorado. And they went into the study, if I heard correctly, with the premise that, if you get people who lean the same way, well, I guess what they wanted to do was find out, okay, if you go in with some people who think similarly, do you come away with people thinking more or less radically than when they went in? And so the people that they chose two cities in Colorado. One was, I think they said Boulder, and I think the other one was Colorado Springs. And in Boulder, it's left of center, slightly left of center is the leading, whereas in Colorado City, it's slightly right of center. And so they took I'm totally not staying in my lane here. So they took the two groups, and they took everybody in the groups, and they asked them their opinion on certain things. Climate change, gun control, LGBT rights, things like that. And they went in before they got them involved with anybody else in the group, got a glitch there, and asked them what their opinions were on the different matters, and then recorded those. And then they put them in a group discussion where they talked to one another and about these topics. And then they came to a group consensus in regards to the topics, and then they went back and individually talked to each. I'm kicking it up to each of them, and found that in both cases, in Boulder, that the people were more left-leaning than when they went into the study, and in Colorado City, they were more right-leaning than when they went into the city. Okay, actually, sorry, not Colorado City. That's a city in Arizona. Colorado Springs, which is a city in Colorado. So Colorado Springs, Colorado City is completely different. And this is me. Anyway, and what they found is those in Colorado Springs had become more right-leaning, and those in Boulder had become more left-leaning. And so not criteria, what they learned from the study is that as you get interacting with people who think similarly to you, you become more radicalized, which has meaning for, understanding how people become radicalized in any situation. They talk about that radicalism isn't necessarily wrong, isn't always bad. That, for instance, the American Revolution was a very radical choice. The French Revolution was a very radical choice. But that doesn't mean that just because they were radical that they were wrong. But what they found is that by having people come together who thought similarly, you end up with more radical views coming out of it. And one of the problems we face currently is that many of us don't really interact with anybody who doesn't think like us, because we're self-selecting those opinions out of our daily input. If someone feels radically different from us when it comes to politics or religion or whatever the case is, we have a tendency to self-select them from our newsfeed so that they don't show up anymore. And so that in turn is part of what's causing us to become more radicalized. Ooh, I didn't do a turn signal back there. Anyway, and so you end up with people who are more radical than they were going into it, because the only input they're getting is from people who think like they do. Anyway, looks like I didn't pull forward quite enough. Come on, where am I? Am I not there? I'm too far? I gotta be too far. Oh, yeah, it's way back there. I'm way too far. Okay. So we end up, because of this self-selection, we end up making ourselves more radical in our views. Like I said, now radicalism, they did point out, isn't always wrong. There may be times when radicalism is a good thing, but in most cases, I would think it's probably not. Okay, so we are gonna swing. We're gonna swing in here. Not hitting that pole, I hope. Except we are totally hitting that pole. So I'm wondering if there's actually... Okay, let's think. Let's think before we do. So I think I'm just going to have to do a hard right at this point. Because if I actually get it down in there, I'm not going to be able to get it back out. Okay. So, let's do a hard right. I'm not going to clear that. Okay. Let's reverse just a little bit. Okay. We'll try this again. In a crawler gear here. Okay. Made that. Now, my goal is to get it and there's the fence. Okay, so now I have got to get this guy way over there. Okay. So let's go ahead and start cranking it. Okay, and I'm gonna actually look down just a bit so I can see that mirror better. Okay, let's go ahead and start correcting out of it. See where we're at. I might actually be closer than I thought I was gonna get. Then again, not so much. Okay, let's go ahead and straighten it out. Okay, and a little bit more. Okay, now we'll bring it back the other way. I still missed it a little bit. Okay, so that means I still need to bring it this way just a little bit. I feel like I'm not quite as straight back as I think I am, but I'm not. Ooh, I'm actually not too bad off though. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it this way just a little bit. Okay, we are gonna okay, I gotta stop because I'm having a hard time seeing here. Let's see how close I actually am. Ah, see, I'm not. Oh, that's what the problem is. Oh, I'm not doing so badly after all. That means I need to crank it that way a little bit. Okay, so it needs to go that way some, huh? Just go to the left a little bit. Okay, now let's bring it. Let's start bringing it back. I'm actually more impressed than I ought to be with my parking job on this one. Yes! Did I nail that on the first try? You know what? I am happy with that. I am more than happy with that. Now, technically, the only thing that is a problem is that technically I should not be pulling off my trailer going at an angle. And I killed it. And now, if I go straight forward, we should be good to go. Okay. And that is that. Let's go ahead and drop it. Okay. CR 10.9, huh? Whatever a CR 10.9. Okay. Let's see what we got. $1,500. I broke my beginning. So I wanted to go look real quick. So there, oh, this guy right here. I'm gonna give this guy a try. Let's go ahead and we'll put him down below here. Confirm changes. Continue game. Okay, so we're going to try that. I want to see if it changes the behavior more than changes the number of cars on the road. It also could change my CPU usage and crash everything, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so my health is looking okay, really. GPU usage is decent. My frame rate's staying up there. I think things are going pretty well. Okay, so I am currently in Roswell. So let's see what we've got in Roswell. We've got Wertgen. Ooh, 18 speed. That guy's heavy. We should do that. Kenworth T680, huh? What do we got down here? I could do a Volvo VNL. That guy's a whole lot less, though. That's a lot less exciting. We're totally doing this guy. Going from Roswell to Albuquerque with a Wertgen WT2100. 36 tons. 75,000 pounds. 72,000 pounds. I guess it's not long tons, it's short tons. So 72,000 pounds. And $174. Assuming I don't have any mess ups, which is a really big assumption. Okay. So, that's what that is, huh? Big old long guy. I am glad it's not a steerable trailer, though. Those steerable trailers are a whole lot harder to drive. Okay. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Got all my oversized load stuff. And let's go ahead and adjust my seat. I actually kind of like the seat I had, the way I had it adjusted before, although I never did get to check whether it was a problem. Okay, we're going to try that, although my guess is at lights I'm going to have to look up a little bit. But you know what? I think that's worth having a little more peripheral vision. So let's go ahead and test our trailer here. Nope, not you. Yep, we are connected and I killed it. Okay. So it looks like that's our way out over there, although I could also take the way out over here. I'm tempted to do that because with a trailer this long, that might buy me a little bit of space. I don't know, this guy's wider, huh? How close is that? Oh, and also, while I'm at it, am I going to be going past any interesting things that I ought to stop by on? Socorro doesn't have any question marks. Albuquerque doesn't either. Okay, looks like it's just going to be going there. Okay, we're going to try the left one here. Now I just got to make sure that I stay as far to the right on this exit as I can. Last time I did, I don't know if it was this exact exit, but one like this, I really messed it up. So, let's keep over here. Of course, I've got some traffic. Got a light down there controlling traffic right now. I'm not going to make it before it's done controlling traffic. After those two guys, I can go. Totally going for it. Just got to make sure I stay in my lane. What did I just do? Man, I'm totally over revving here. Oh, you know what? I need to check. I I know the answer here. I actually have an 18 speed right now. Right? Yes, I have an 18 with a retarder. So I need to change my controls to match. Okay. Sorry. 13 speed. Okay. So that means I'm like way higher geared than come on. Yeah, that's probably a good place to start since I was on the wrong layout. Okay. So let's go ahead and get over. So I haven't used a retarder in a... Oh, better turn on my headlights here so I don't get in trouble for not. Anyway, so the retarder I've got set up right here. So if I... Oh, actually here. So there's my retarder button. Anyway. Oh, and... Okay. So if I want to see the top light, I do need to look up a bit. I'm going to start splitting at this point because I've got a pretty heavy load. Normally I don't split this early, but we're going to save ourselves a few gear chatters and start splitting. Swift truck, I'll race ya. I'll race ya. And it's going to rain. Off a little bit here. And go for 7 high. And I won the Swift race. Of course, you know, as in real life, it's not too hard to go faster than a Swift truck, so I'm just a little surprised that I accomplished it with my truck with 36,000 tons, and it's not my truck, my employer's truck. I don't have a truck, so sorry, I'm gonna look at something really quickly. Okay, I just had the thought that what if my audio's not connecting? Ah, dang it. Anyway, just thought I'd check really quickly, and it is. So 8 low now. And then we're going down to 55. And 45. And this is my turn actually. Oh, I'm not gonna make this. I'm not gonna make this. And I'm not gonna wreck into that wall right there. Okay, let's back up a little bit here. Oh, come on. Okay. We are there. How is it? Huh. Is that the rain that's making the physics do that? That's weird. I'm getting like some weird... Okay, bus, give me the space I need. Am I caught on something? Nope. Not caught on anything. Oh. Okay, this is the gear I'm going for. You're gonna have to give me some space, buddy. Gonna have to give me some space. Oh, come on. Thank you for all that space there. Well, there goes all my money for this job. So much for thinking I might make some money at it. I mean, who wants to make money at trucking, right? Yeah, because that was $200 and I'm gonna make $175 off the job, so you know, there you go. Don't hit the bus. Don't let the pigeon ride the bus. Or something like that. Drive the bus. Don't let the pigeon drive the bus. Okay, let's go to 6 high. I should have been watching my GPS better, that's for sure. Okay. Getting up some real speed now. 45, 47. Got someone coming up on my tail. Now, one of the things I actually looked forward to on this load is with it being a heavier load and having it be a smaller engine, I'm going to have to do a lot of gear changing, which, you know, that's why I bought the Mega Shifter. So, you know, that's part of the fun of the game. So I'll have to see how this goes. I'm 3.5 hours left on the delivery. Let's go ahead and turn off my brights. Let's see if we can get up to 59 so we don't get a ticket, but we get a little extra miles under us. I think I do have a mod in that's like lower speed or lower cop spawn mod. I'm not 100% sure. Looks like reduce speed ahead. $45, huh? And then 30. And then a light. Okay, well that was a cool little place. Despite, you know, saying, oh no, that's not what I want. That's what I want. I actually really like the opportunity that gives to practice the whole process of slowing down and speeding back up again and whatnot. In some ways it's a lot more interesting than the open road, which you get a whole lot more of in California. And it does make me wonder whether they're going to go through and revamp California at this point, or if they'll just leave it as is and allow modders to go through and revamp the maps and stuff. And I wonder the same thing on Euro Truck Simulator. Are they going to go in and revamp Germany and some of the early areas and make them better? Or do you just continue expanding? At some point, are people going to pay for a DLC that expands Germany or expands California or makes California better? I think they're probably more likely to buy an expansion that adds a new state or a new country, even though people seem to be complaining about that as well. So, I'm getting a little speedy here. Bring it down to 59. And I'm gonna go up to high. Feel a little close to this guy. Well, I think we've got some bonding going on here. I mean, hopefully we don't actually have any bonding, but I feel like he probably appreciates me being right behind him, shining my lights in his back window. I know I usually feel that way. So that's probably how he feels towards me as well. I mean, that's just my assumption. Of course, now that I said, that the roads are a little more interesting, things calm down a bit. So anyway, going back to my earlier thought, or thought project, thought experiment going off of the podcast. If you're wondering, the podcast was actually Waking Up with Sam Harris, and it was talking about, I think the title was Saving the Republic or something to that effect. I'd have to look it up to know for sure. But we're isolating ourselves, and whether it be Reddit, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Twitter, we tend to follow those and friend those and subscribe to subreddits that agree with our point of view, and shy away from those that don't. And so over time, what we do is we keep hearing the same arguments over and over, or arguments that support the arguments we already knew, and that makes us then feel like our arguments are even more valid than we might have otherwise thought. Sorry, I totally clutched on that one because I was not sure where I was. Okay. I should have, I can still downshift. And because we hear the same arguments, the arguments that support our point of view, we then keep feeling more and more like our point of view is the correct point of view, or the only point of view that has merit. And what that does in the long run is it then leads all of us to be more polarized in our points of view. And they mention an app, which I think would be fun to look at. That the point of the app is actually to go in and tell you whether you're only reading articles and news sources and stuff that only conform to your point of view. Are you leading yourself towards more extremism? Because I know myself, yawning again, that I do see that that tendency to just read the things that agree with my point of view and to ignore the things that don't. And that in turn leads me to then be more polarized in my point of view and be less accepting of other people's points of view, which is not where I want to be. I like to think of myself as somebody who is open-minded. That doesn't mean I actually am open-minded. That means I like to think of myself as being open-minded. And I think that depending on the day and the week and whatnot, that may be more or less true. But I'd prefer it be more true. And hopefully, as I seek to consume more varied media, more varied points of view, that it will be true more often than it otherwise is. And that also has implications for our society at large as we continue to only consume things that agree with our point of view. Will continue to be more and more polarized, whether that polarization is to the left or to the right. And then we get into our identity politics where, well, you know, Democrats or liberals generally go for points A, B, C, and D, and conservatives or Republicans generally go for, you know, X, Y, and Z, and depending on where I lie on that political system, that political spectrum, or where I see myself lying, where I identify with, I'm going to automatically take those points of view, accept those arguments, without actually putting much critical thinking into it. It's what my people think, so that's what I'm going to think too, because I tend to think they're right. And so that's part of what's causing us to be so polarized in the world we're in today. Okay, I'm gonna kick it up just a little bit and see if I can get around these cars. How long till my exit? Actually, I am not gonna kick it up and get around these cars because this is my exit. Pretty sure this is my exit. I'm trying to figure out how this intersection works though. So it doesn't look like I'm supposed to exit right there. Okay. Let's go ahead and drop it a gear. Okay. So this is now my exit. Okay. And then I'm going left. A little bit too big of a blip there. Okay, am I stopping anytime soon? I am, so this is just my exit coming up again. Actually that is not my exit. Is it? Nope, that's not my exit. That's one of those, hey, you don't have the blocking things up anymore, so that would be locked, but you have that turned off. Okay, good to know. That gets me sometimes. I like not having the little, hey, you can't go this way, but it does come back to bite me sometimes. Okay, now this is my exit. Okay, so let's go ahead and crank on the retarder. Let's go ahead and kick it up a gear, or down a gear, really. Okay. Okay. I can probably kill the retarder at this point. Well, I don't think I'm going to make it through this green light. Come on. That's not the gear I wanted. Man, that's what's happening. That's why it's... Okay. That's why it's moving around so much. It's my little situation here is causing it to move around. And that's also not really doing what it's supposed to. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn on my turn signal. So, we as a people should seek to get outside of that self-created bubble. Now that bubble is also reinforced by, Facebook's algorithms and whatever else, but a lot of it is actually self-inflicted. By the way that, in the normal world we get to choose who we hang out with, but in the virtual world we get to decide who we even hear anything from. I apparently just turned it off. I stalled out. Anyway, in the virtual world, we get to choose our source of input. Almost 100%. Since the results of the last election, I think some online providers are rethinking a little bit the way that they do their oh, come on, algorithms, but they're still set up off the idea of, well, giving you what you like makes me money, so at least to some extent I'm going to continue to do that. Anyway, so it's up to us as a society, as consumers, to then seek out opposing points of view. If you are pro-gun, anti-gun control, then maybe once in a while it can pay to read a source that differs from your point of view. On the flip side, if you're pro-gun control, maybe it pays every once in a while to talk to somebody, and that was my stop, who is pro-gun control, and find out, well, why, and maybe, maybe it will then strengthen your arguments to yourself and to others, but maybe it will also, clear your, I might make this, maybe it will just reinforce your stereotypes that you've already. I don't get why this is like not turning. I think it has something to do with maybe the way the torque is applied, because when I let off my throttle, a little bit, then it gets better. I don't know. But I don't seem to be turning very well. Anyway, so as we look at what our points of view are, whatever those points of view are, because one of the things that I feel is indicative of identity politics is the lack of nuance that so many people have in any of their opinions. I do it too on some of mine. That, it's just, well, spouting the party line. There's no thought involved. There's no looking at how you individually feel about the issue and the pros and cons and all of that. You just feel the way you're more or less told you should feel. Okay, now this is one that I do not think I want to park, because I'm almost definite sure I know where they want me to park, and I really don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I've watched people do it, but I just don't think I can nail that. I'm trying to remember. You know what? We'll give it a try. I'll probably make a fool of myself, but we will give it a try. The worst I can do is just, accept it later. So, but I am going to do it. Okay, so now let's go ahead, and I'm definitely not going to do it in first person because I will never get it then. Okay, so I think my goal is to back this guy into that spot. And I think I've already started wrong. So we're going to actually back up a little bit, try and kind of take it straight back. Nope. Something like that. And then we are going to pull up this way. Okay. That might be a little bit better than I had it before. So, let's go ahead and start sending that guy that way. And that was too. Come on. I'm nowhere near where I need to be for that. So we're going to pull it forward just a bit. Back into this corner. Go back here. Apparently I was on the curb there. I'm not going to make it. No, I wonder. I could back it around that guy, though, into the other spot. Ooh, that might work. Okay, so if I don't go quite as steep then. Oh, except that I think that there is a... Oh, wrong way. Come on. Okay, crawl gear it is. And I'm still not going to make it. So I might just have to back into here. I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to make that. I don't know, maybe. Nope. Now I'm so close to here. This is not going to make it. Okay, I'm not giving up yet. I'm not giving up yet. Ooh, and there's even another thing back there, huh? Okay, so let's see if I can now crank it really hard. come on. Telling you, if the physics were right on here, I wouldn't have to keep feathering the clutch and all of that. Oh, come on. And I just barely did the exact opposite of what I'm going to do right now. And I'm stuck right back where I was. But I don't think that I could do that. Maybe I could have. I might have been able to do that. Okay, we're going to try that then. I could do that. Okay, now, let's see if I can... Oh no, I could have done that. Okay, we're gonna try, okay, take like 12 here, 27, 88, whatever take this is. Okay. Okay, I gotta go farther forward than that. And I'm not making it in. I'm really at a loss here. Okay, so now we back it into there, and then pull out that way, and back it this way. I feel like that's what I have to do. But I've got to figure out how to back it into there. actually going to try and park it there. Totally not going to make it. Okay, now I might make it. Ooh, I might actually make this one now. Okay. Okay, now I'm actually just going to pull back out here. Okay. Okay, come on. It's got to be the modified physics that are doing the whole slipping with the front tires thing. Maybe it's just the weight of the trailer, I don't know. Totally gonna do this again. Oh. I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Right as I run into it, I say I'm totally gonna do this. Okay. No, this way. Okay, so we are gonna now pull up a little bit. Get it recentered here. Okay. After like eternity, I'm gonna get this done. Nope. I started too far out there. Okay. So we are gonna turn it in this way. Turn it back that way. See if we can get a little closer in there. Okay. Oh, dang it. Nope, don't even do that. Okay. Definitely got to start in closer because I've got to nail that really, really close. Okay. Okay. Now. Might actually have enough space to make this one. Ah. How am I looking over there? Maybe. Nope. No. Nope. Wrong way. I'm on the home stretch. Oh man, that was painful. That was so painful. But I did it. And I only lost $26 on the job because of my running into somebody. So, you know, not the end. Well, I think we're in the stream for the night. Thanks to anybody who tuned in even briefly and anybody who watches later. This is Essence Stream. This is and Sean.